All right, welcome back to the Range Minded Podcast. It's me, usually, you know who I am. This is Steve with the Range Minded Podcast. And we have Nick Hoffer back. No, he's not dead. He didn't vanish. We didn't lose him in the Himalayas. He's been really, really busy. And so,
Here's the thing. I've wanted to come back on here for months. Steve just didn't invite me. It's the first time Steve invited me. I'm back. So,
well, I don't know how, and that might be slightly accurate, but not completely inaccurate either. Did that make any sense? Maybe that didn't make any sense at all. I don't know. It is Memorial Day, so, we're both kind of relaxing and chilling. You can see Nick tipping back a cold one back there. I haven't opened my ginger beer yet, but I do have it. It's right here.
yeah. So I'm at the studio Meridian. So I'm trying to finish off this stuff that's been in the fridge for, I guess, got to be like 6 months now.
It's like expired IPA.
I don't know. Does IPA expire? I thought alcohol gets better with age.
I'm not sure if IPA does. I don't know. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink alcohol. You're not an alcoholic either, so I have no idea. I don't know, dude.
I'm not sure. Anyways, it's great to be back. It's great to be on here. Memorial Day. Had a good weekend. Had a good day. Hopefully, you guys took a little bit of time to remember a couple of veterans. And now that you're back to your barbecue, we can get started on an episode of Range Minded. I don't even know how these work anymore. I've been listening to a lot of great solo episodes with Steve, so I'll have to have him guide me through this.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. He's basically like the first time he's ever been on the show. It's kind of like the same thing from whatever it was 5 years ago or whatever it was.
5 years ago.
But yeah, it's good. And if you guys don't know Nick, I've got picked up quite a few actually new people. So maybe some of these guys don't know who you are, Nick. Maybe just kind of share who you are and why you are where you're at, real quick. Just catch us up to date.
One thing I'm going to say from not being on here in a while, Steve does not make any sense when he talks now. So good for him. I'm glad he's more comfortable on the microphone.
I probably don't.
You just made like who you are, why you are. I don't know what that means. But anyways, okay. I'm Nick Hoffer.
I'm excited, dude. I'm excited.
Nick Hoffer or Nicholas Hoffer on the internet. I own Hoftac Industries, the holster company in Meridian, Idaho, now Nampa, Idaho, now that we moved the warehouse. But I'm the creator of the Omni Carry, the holster that holds 300 guns. You've probably heard about that from Steve. If you haven't, you're definitely going to hear about it more on the show, either today or in the future. And yeah, that's me. You can find me on the internet, nickhoffer.com, Instagram, Nicholas Hoffer, and Hoftac Industries.
I'll slow down so I make more sense.
Oh, and I've been on like 30 to 50 episodes of Range Minded.
Yeah, Nick was a constant co-host for a while, and I'm not even sure what happened, honestly. I think you were like working on holster stuff and got really busy. I can't remember what I happened to hear.
So last year I kind of shifted gears going into the Omni Carry project, and I got really focused on the manufacturing side. I wasn't doing a lot of content. I wasn't doing a lot of interviews and things like that, and I wasn't doing a lot of podcasts. So you were kind of figuring some stuff out, and I was like, hey, let's pick this back up. And then when you were ready to pick it back up, I was kind of in the middle of that transition. So I didn't really have a lot of time to keep going. So now I'm making priority for content, interviews, shows. Hopefully I'll be on here quite a bit more stuff to talk about. I mean, we got a lot of things going on, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of great work that I've been working on and that I've seen you working on. So I got some patches. You were just talking to me about some hats and some shirts and growing the show. What is this, like episode like 240 or something?
We're at 243, I think.
243. Like so Steve's done almost 30 episodes since the last one I've been on. So there you go.
I'm trying to keep it going.
I will say crazy. As inconsistent as the show has been, you've been consistent you've done 240 episodes. How many podcasts can say they've done 240 episodes? I think the average is people quit after 5.
Well, I heard somewhere, if I can remember right, if you record more than one episode, you're like in the top 40% of podcasts, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
So
I mean,
so
yeah,
I'm
you've
above
done
average.
240 of these. I've been on like 40 or 50 of these. I did 100 alternative podcast episodes. So dude, we're in the
And a
top
butt
tier
ton of
apparently.
lives. You did
Well,
a
so
lot of lives too.
yeah, but I counted all those as podcast episodes because we cut those down, and I still need to upload them all. But yeah, there's 140 of them. But
And they
they
were
were
all
all,
good.
yeah, they were all set up based around kind of what we did here with interviews and whatnot. So I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
get some of those guys to circle back and come into the studio and actually do a show with me. I got some studio time scheduled in Salt Lake, and I'm gonna do 4 or 5 interviews while I'm down there.
That's just the thing is you're not just a holster guy. Like you try to improve all the time. You're not stagnant.
Yeah, but it's all in one common goal, and that's to sell holsters. So,
And
uh,
improve. Come on.
well,
You're working on improvement. I know you.
so realistically, it's not even about selling holsters. It's about helping the most amount of people carry a firearm as possible, and part of that is education and training, and then comes the holster sales. So part of what I'm working on is a series of like people's journey in concealed carry and how they've been affected by the process. And so that's kind of what we've been working on. Also, I'm working on doing some like 60-second like skills drills with instructors to go over like different things that we can add to the purchase of a holster. It comes with a whole catalog of training, which is something I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. I'm sure people have heard me talk about it before.
That's super rad. So you're saying like when they buy the holster, is it like an online link or something, or how does that work?
Yeah. So the goal would be this: one, we'll give away we'll do a lot of it for free online, but we'll also create a community, which I'm trying to do outside of Facebook, of where when you purchase the holster either online or in stores, there'll be like this one comes with a card on the inside of it. So there'll be like a link on the card where you can join the community. And once you get inside of there, you can be linked up with either instructors that are local to you, or you can go into the library and you can just pick like, hey, I want to learn dry fire. And essentially, if you've been in the USCCA app, that's how I'm trying to partner with them in getting that type of content inside of our community.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
So that
That,
way everybody can learn. So I always tell people we're not tactical operators. I'm not freaking cops. We're just normal people trying to protect ourselves, and we don't have to take it to that extreme level. Obviously, a lot of people enjoy doing that, but I don't. Like I've done all of the types of training, and I really love to play golf. I love to drink beer, and I like to just hang out at home. I am not trying to like go kick indoors and like get in a gunfight.
I do not want to get in a gunfight either.
Yeah. So,
I'm a terrible golfer, so I don't know how much I sympathize with you there.
well, you have to get out. You just have to do it more. It's like shooting. The more you do it, the better you get.
Well, the more I swear, the more I golf is what happens.
Oh, oh. See, and I'm working on swearing less, so I just got to get better at golf.
So you're saying that there's a way to get better at one thing or both things by doing them at the same time, or not
Yeah.
doing? Well, I'm
So
confused.
okay, here's something. So I just said I'm working on swearing less. Uh, I was driving my truck last Sunday, and we were in McCall picking up our daughter from. They had like a rugby, like they stayed at someone's cabin after their rugby game. So I went up to pick her up because she had to work that Sunday afternoon, and we went to the wrong address. I'm backing out of the driveway, and I backed into a tree that was in the driveway. Not in the back of
Oh,
my truck, in the driver's side door. How that happened, I have no idea. I looked out the mirrors, I looked left, I looked right, I'm watching the passenger side mirror. Boom. Look left, and there's a tree like almost through my window. I didn't say one thing. I just went, that sucks. and just kind of bit my lip. So
Yeah, I would have swore.
it's a big move for me because
I'm proud of you.
I had everything in my head, and I was like, I'm not gonna give the 4 people in this truck the benefit of seeing me lose it.
Well, they say like a real man can control his temper, right? It's weakness to get angry, which I don't I don't disagree with, but I'm a pretty weak man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I say a lot of things.
I'm only working on it because it's been pointed out to me a lot that I use pretty foul language.
I used to be really tight with my language. Like I used to be very disciplined. I didn't cuss too much, and then I don't know what happened. I think I got back in the construction world and like my soul died.
So
Really
since I've been off of the show, we talked a little bit about the stuff I had going on. But who's been on the show that I missed? Have you had any interviews, or have they all been solo episodes?
Oh no, we had. Let's see, who did I have? I'll have to look back. I know I've had interviews. I've had a guy named John Cox from 2A Talking Tactical. He approached me actually on Twitter. Had a Twitter, set up the Twitter account, and he approached me about it, which was cool. So we kind of did a joint show. Oh man, I'd have to look back. I can't remember. I know I've done more than just his interview. So I've been on a couple as well. So that's been fun.
Very cool.
Whiskey and Windage. That was interesting. Those guys are pretty fun, and they're fairly new. And man, they're killing it with their podcast. Absolutely killing it. They gave away a freaking Q rifle the other day.
Well, if you want to buy one, I'll give it away for you.
It was donated by the owner of Q. I was like, damn guys, way to go.
Very cool.
So
I'll see what I can do, but you should see about getting Mike from Agency Arms to do the show. He was just in our warehouse the other day. I was just talking to him the other day.
Yeah, that'd be freaking dope, honestly.
Yeah, you need.
I need to branch out a lot more. Like I've reached out to a few dudes, just not very aggressively.
Well, I think the more that you reach out, the more you'll recognize that these guys, especially doing it remote, will be happy to jump on here and do an interview with you. So speaking of interviews, did you see that Ryan was on the News Talk Radio here?
No.
Yeah,
So if you guys don't know, we're talking about Ryan from Fieldworks.
Yeah, Ryan Atkins. He was just on the Sports Talk Radio on Friday.
That's awesome. How'd that go?
It was actually pretty interesting. So they're branching outside of sports. They kind of talked about how he was a defensive lineman and how he got into celebrity protection type stuff. But yeah, I didn't get to see the entire end of it, but it was interesting to see. He was live in studio, and I think it was that Prater, and I can't remember the other guy's name who's on that local show.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, you have to check it out. He posted it on his story, and I watched most of it the other night.
So the thing I love about Ryan is he is not who you assume he is. Like you look at that guy, you think, oh, this guy's inked up. He's going to be real dick. Nah, Ryan's cool. He's super chill. I don't want to ever piss him off, but he's super chill.
That sounds like most of the people that talk to me about him. It's funny because he doesn't like to drive. So yeah. I'm always like, what do you mean you don't drive? You do executive. He's like, no, I don't drive cars. So when he shows up to work, he'll show up to work. He gets dropped off.
That's funny.
Or we pick him up.
He's a funny dude.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
When I took that Cerebrus class, whatever it was, 3 months ago. So that was the 3-headed dog episode. If anybody's curious about learning more about that class, that was pretty damn awesome. But yeah, Ryan is a good solid dude. I would definitely keep him on a team if I could.
Anyway, so catch me up. Not to cut you off about Ryan, but I think we're gonna probably bring him back on here to talk some more. I talked to him. The other day
need to. The episode we had with him,
the audio was jacked up. I was so disappointed.
And I found out why later.
Messed up. Why? What
I found
happened?
out later it was the drivers, the online driver for the board needed to be updated.
I was gonna say because we had a couple episodes where the audio sucked with those microphones, and it's not, guys. It's not like we didn't have like professional audio either. Like Steve's got like 6 microphones over there and a like whatever that
And an
board's
actual
called.
board.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's not garbage.
and it sounded like we were talking on an iPhone from 10 feet away. I was really disappointed.
Yeah, I still publish the episode. It actually is one of the most listened to episodes. Weirdly enough, somebody made it through it, but yeah, we need to get him back on.
Nice. So yeah, I
It's,
actually talked to him about doing that. He said he's down anytime. So it would be cool if we could do it when if you came to town, and maybe we can schedule like 4 or 5 people to do shows maybe over like a Friday, Saturday, and have you come down into the studio and do that.
yeah, I need to make my way over there. But I used to be able to come over once a month, twice a month,
Yeah, but now
but
you don't work.
that sounds like that milk cow dried up. I don't I don't know. I don't know why they don't call me anymore. So that's fine. Whatevs.
Well, maybe we can get
So
you to
now I
come
just
over.
need.
Maybe I can get you to come over once a month and teach a pistol class or something.
Hell yeah, I'd be absolutely down with that.
So catch me up on what's been going on in the world as far as the Second Amendment goes, because you know that I rely on guys like you for all of my 2A news. I saw some stuff about maybe suppressors. I saw some stuff on pistol braces. I saw a couple of Trump speeches. Like what's been going on in the world that I've had my head down and haven't seen.
That's what I love about Nick is he is so driven with work that the world means nothing to him. He focuses on his family and work, which is probably more healthy than what I do. Uh, so yeah, there's been a lot. So suppressors, when it comes to suppressors in Texas, kind of like Idaho tried to do, Texas said, hey, as long as suppressors are made in the state, it's not under interstate commerce. They don't need to be NFA items. So obviously the ATF was a little upset about that. So it went to court, back and forth. I'm not quite sure where it sits right now, but I think it's going to go to the Supreme Court actually. But there's at least 4 gun bills sitting at the Supreme Court's feet right now that will change the course of the 2A uh, of the Second Amendment completely here by the end of this session of the Supreme Court. So I can't remember if that's one of them. I know Cargill's one of them. The bump stock thing is one of them. I'm really not
We're
confident.
still talking about bump stocks.
Yeah. Well, because now it's finally made it to the Supreme Court. It takes years to go from district court to Supreme Court. Years. So I
There's
am not terribly confident.
unpopular opinion, but I never gave a damn about bump stocks from the start.
Well,
I
I think
always
they're
thought they were
stupid.
stupid. Yeah, like made
and
no.
and I've said that openly that they're the dumbest thing ever. They're uncontrollable. They're lame. They're just a waste of money. But I don't think the government should tell people they can't have them either. So
I just think of it this way: out of all of the stuff that's relevant and useful that we could be like fighting for and legislating for and putting
like national
obviously
reciprocity, maybe.
millions of dollars behind, we have bump stocks. And
Well,
I know when we win that, that's gonna set a precedent on other things.
yeah, like accessories. That's the
But
big
it
deal right there. Is defining
but it's
accessories
just
and rate of fire.
a weird thing to be like hitching our horses to. And it's funny because they've talked about bump stocks so much, you watch Congress, they talk about anytime they talk about rate of fire or they talk about like pistol braces or any type of stock, it automatically is a bump stock.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like that when they were talking about pistol braces was like last year now. When
yeah.
the one I can't remember who the idiot was, like this thing makes the rate of fire increase. It's essentially a bump stock. And then Thomas Massey's like, "You're going to get educated by the internet this week." Yeah,
Yeah, I
none of
said
the
this
politicians know what's going on.
I said this on an Instagram story a while back, and I was like, it is mind blowing to me that people can stand up in Congress and they can talk about firearms as if they have an opinion that's relevant and have no idea of the terms that they just came out of their
Yeah.
mouth. But you can't say anything about anything else without getting scrutinized to the moon.
Oh yeah.
But they can say anything and everything about firearms that's wrong and act like it's a cold hard fact.
I mean, like an AR-15 is as heavy as 10 moving boxes,
Yeah,
and you can't carry it, and shooting them is tremendous.
and it's the deadliest round in the world.
Yeah.
It's the most dangerous. What was the bullet that they said blew up your insides or something when it hit you?
Yeah. Well, they also said the 9mm will suck your lungs out of your body when you get
That's
shot
what
with it.
that's what it was. Where do I find those
It
nine
is pretty
millimeter?
baffling, right? Like, you're right. These people that are leaders, they don't know jack. And if they don't know anything about guns, think about actually running a country. Do they really even understand that?
Well, that's
It's
what I
pretty
mean.
sad.
Like, so if they have, that's something that they're adamantly against. It's something they're fighting to remove from society, which would mean it's something that they're pretty focused on, probably more focused on than me. Like, they're probably spending more time being focused on trying to get rid of those things than I'm spending, and I'm in the industry and they
Right.
know zero. So they're people who are feeding their ear of what to say. They still know nothing about what they're talking about. It's so weird to me. Like, the people
Yeah,
that are
it's
in those seats are just, and lack of a better term, they're just so dumb that they don't make sense when they talk.
well, it's true. They are stupid. They It's like well, what was the guy that said Guam, if we put too many troops on there, the island's going to tip over? You remember that guy? Oh
I
shoot, I
remember
can't
that,
remember his
and
name.
I feel like I feel like that's true though. I might have learned that in school somewhere.
Maybe Guam is just this. That is the Pacific garbage island that they've been talking about.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
it's not
true.
attached to the ocean floor.
Wow, that's amazing. It just happens to stay in the same spot. They must have good anchors, I guess. I don't know.
It's a laser beam holds it in place. It's an illusion. It's not even a real island.
Yeah, it's like that's where all the birds are made. So anyway, that just tells you like how intelligent, right? You're 100% correct. That the people that are trying to govern you and me are so, and maybe they're doing it on purpose. Maybe they really aren't that stupid. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. That just makes them deliberately mischievous, right?
No,
That makes it even worse.
I used to say that, but I don't believe it. I believe that they give so little of a shit about the American people and what they're talking about. They're told that they need to talk about something, and their secretary or their assistant says, "Oh, this is the talking point," and then they just fill in the blanks. No research, no
Yeah,
understanding. It's fill in the blank. They have a they have this thing behind them on this, like, what's hilarious is they have like paper cards behind them that they're
yeah.
having someone move. I'm like, this is 2024. Like, you don't have like a screen that shit can be on. No, we print these 4 foot like postcards and we're flipping them on the thing behind them.
Which
So
probably
they,
would have cost as much as the laptop.
yeah. So it's just they're just filling in the blanks and they don't know what they're looking at, but they know that they have to say these certain things. And I think that's it. I think it's, and even the people who are on our side aren't always like, they're doing the
No,
same
they're not
thing
a
on
lot
other
better.
facts. And so the problem, I believe, is that we're going to have to find real world people to fill those spots, which means we're going to have to get term limits, which unfortunately means we're going to have to do some sort of an amendment to the Constitution, which is going to put everything else in jeopardy.
Maybe, maybe. I think there's a way to do it without term limits. I think we as citizens just need to pay attention and call our Congress people, our representation, and say, no, don't do that. Instead of being apathetic and just saying, oh, that would never happen here. Idaho's a red state. Will never
Yeah,
happen
but
here.
I'm of the thought now that like I don't know that the representatives really care what you think.
I think they would if you made a noise
I
because
think that
nobody calls them, so they're just going to do whatever they think people want.
I think that they're doing whatever they're told by the people with the money that they helped fund their campaigns tells them to do. And
Perhaps,
it doesn't really
perhaps.
matter what me and you tell them we want. I mean, yes, if there's overwhelming outreach, they can't deny it. And that's the only way that we've gotten away with like stopping some things is overwhelming outreach. But to truly believe that even the Idaho representation really cares what me and you, Nick and Steve think, I don't think that's true. I think that they have an idea and they have an agenda when they run, and that's just the way that they're going to vote. Now they might be red, they might be blue, they might be in the middle, but eventually they dig themselves into a hole that they can't get out of. And if that's insider trading or deals that they've made or uh, trades for I'll vote this way if you vote this way, they eventually after 12 to 14 years of making deals, they're beholden to the deal makers.
Well, I can also only assume, right? My opinion
Yeah, that's all.
that
And that's the same with me.
they get invited to these parties or something. They get compromising photographs where they get leverage to do something, or this might get out in the news, type of thing. And yeah, I hope it doesn't happen on the state level or the city level, but I think it absolutely happens at the national level. Absolutely. I don't think there's any. Well, there's very very few clean people in Washington. It's just a matter of time before they step in the cesspool of Congress and get
So one
compromised in one way or another.
since we're on the politics train, so one thing that I've really been looking at and thinking, I'm like, I want to see so we saw Vivek step up and run for president. We've seen some people in the past kind of step up and run for things that were not politicians. Obviously, Donald Trump stepped up and ran for president and won and is probably going to win again. We can only hope. But some of these other people that are outspoken on what's going on, much smarter than me, much bigger influence than me, uh, it's going to take some of them stepping up and doing some of these jobs, even though they
Yeah.
have said they're not wanting to do it. Like I listen to, and I know many people who are going to hear this listen to Andy Frisella, and he will go off on how corrupt and fucked the government is and the country and the people. But is he going to step up eventually and take on one of those roles? Is Patrick Bet-David going to step up and take on a legislative role to try and save the country if they believe that's what it's going to take to save the country? Or are they going to sit back and talk about it? And I
Yeah.
can
I
say
I don't
that
know.
knowing that if I can get myself into a position to do that, I would do it. Even though I'm not as smart as those guys and I'm not as successful as some of those people, but like if you have the knowledge and you
I
have
can
the
make a couple phone
ability,
calls, Nick. I
yeah, I
can make a
know.
couple
I
phone
know you can.
calls.
I know you can. I've been trying to push Steve to run locally, so and he has the opportunity. But same with
Well,
you.
now,
Same with you. Like when you had the opportunity, there's excuses why you say no, and there's good reason to say no. But at the same time, if we really want to make it, it's like if I get called to jury duty. I had this conversation a couple weeks ago. That's why it's the top of my head. You get called to jury duty and you do everything you can to get out of it. No, like that's your duty.
it's your
At
civic obligation.
the bare minimum that you can do for this country, and it's funny because we're talking about this on Memorial Day. Like the bare minimum you can do for this country is go to jury duty. Like the idea that you're going to try and get out of it because you're going to lose $50 at work.
Yeah.
Like if I am going to court, I want to know that there's people who want to be on, who are doing their civic duty to be on that jury, and it's not stacked against me, or that the people that might have had my side pussed out because they wanted to go make hamburgers today instead of do that. Like that's that's a big part of what I think is going on is people are they don't want to do their duty. So no term limits, cool. People will be in Congress for 40 years. We'll have
Yeah.
Joe Biden's career politicians who are just trying to check the box on I was a lawyer, I was a DA, I was a commissioner, I was I was in the local Congress, I was in the Senate. I just need to get that. I was the vice president. I got to get that president mark. I got to get that second term chip. Like,
Yeah. Get the T-shirt.
yeah.
I mean, it's accurate, right? Like you, we bitch about we bitch about our leadership. I hate that term because it's not true. Our representation, but then we don't step up and make the difference. I mean, there are some people making it, like Brandon Herrera, like him or not. At least he's running against Tony Gonzalez, who's a piece of crap. And I mean, and maybe Brandon will suck. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but he's not he's not part of the establishment, and I think that's why he's getting some traction.
So I really think that, and I've said this about the firearms industry for years. One, we're behind in every type of technology as far as every other industry. Two, the mindset in this industry is behind every other industry. Now that we've started to become a little more mainstream, we're getting more and more people, but yet we have no representation. So you mentioned Brandon. Yeah, that's great. Like we need that. But as people who consider themselves patriots from our community, we need those people stepping up into those roles. We need those veterans who have their 4 and 6 and 12-year runs in the military to step into a representation role in the government. Like that's what we need.
There are a few really good dudes on the national level. You got like Clay Higgins, like him or not. He's from Louisiana. He's a no bullshit sheriff. Like he tells people how it is. He's very constitutionally minded. You got Chip Roy and Thomas Massey.
Did you see
there's some pretty solid dudes.
The Arizona sheriff is running for Congress?
Which one?
Arpaio? No, the dude with the TV show.
From a while ago.
The guy with the TV show.
The white guy, the tall white guy.
Yeah, the cowboy hat. I
can't remember his name. I think I did see one of his political campaign ads.
Yeah, he's running for Congress.
Well, good on him. I don't know. Maybe he'll suck. I don't know.
I don't know either. But that's one of those like no bullshit type of dudes who actually has common sense. As far as I can tell, I had lunch with him once at SHOT Show. Like he was sitting at the table next to us. He scooted over, talked to us for a while. He had hinted that he was leaving. This was not this last SHOT Show, but the SHOT Show before, and he kind of hinted that he was not gonna run for sheriff again. And I assume this was why. But he seems like a common sense, no bullshit kind of dude. I mean, everybody's seen his TV show, like. So I don't know. I think that guys like that would be great for the job. But I mean, obviously you have to have a balance of people who are like that and people who are normal corporate people and like and just represent everyone. But I do feel like we've definitely been underrepresented.
Well, and I think it's because we've been browbeaten so much, right? We're always on the defensive, so it's hard. Like if you think about a football game, it's hard to make any forward progression if we're always on the defense getting pushed back. And so until we actually get a good breakaway, right? We get some good people in Congress, like you're saying, some great people on the state level, because that's really where we see the change on our state level, our local level. That's where it really, really matters.
Yeah, if we could.
And once we fix our state, then we can fix stuff nationally. But
if we could get a new,
we just got to get ahead of the game.
Yeah, if we could get a new governor,
that would be nice.
That would help us. If people get out and vote, we had 30% voter turnout in Idaho. That's awesome.
Yeah. The guy I would have ran against, I probably would have lost this round. He won by like 100 votes. Like it was so close. And like I said, I probably would have lost to him this year,
Well, I will say this
but I guess
locally in the state of Idaho, we are definitely putting ourselves in a bad position because
yeah, we're getting compromised quickly.
we definitely have the mentality of, oh, we'll always be red. We're importing thousands and thousands of people a month. On top of that, I mean, Oregon is pretty serious about fighting to become part of Idaho. That's gonna add several million people and space. I don't know that it's going to happen anytime soon, but that's
I
a
don't think it'll
fear.
happen. We'll have to get 52% of the country to agree.
No,
I don't think it'll happen.
you only need the two states to agree to move the border.
No, it's got to be ratified. I thought.
Well, once the two states Congress agree on it, then it goes to Congress. But by that time, you would think at that point the decision was already made on a state level.
And I'm not even quite sure exactly how I feel about Greater Idaho or whatever it's going to be called. Like I'm still not 100%.
I don't
I'm
either. I
not
think
against it,
they should have
but
just
I'm not. I don't know if
split
I'm
off.
for it.
They should just do exactly what California needs to do, and they should split into two states, and they should have New Oregon, just like they should have North and South California.
It'd be nice because I'm sure the Northern Californians would be happy
Well, that's what I
to
mean.
shed that
Imagine
cancer.
the difference between Northern California and Southern California. It's two different states.
Oh boy.
Like it's completely two different states.
Well, and as Idaho is like from Eastern Idaho to Western Idaho, like if you go to Idaho Falls to Boise, I like Boise a lot. Like I dig the city of Boise, but it's turning pretty soft. Like it's turning into little California. And
Oh,
so with that, you get a lot of you get a lot of left leaning ideas in town there, which is kind of frustrating.
yeah. Yep. So
All the more
get
reason to fight.
getting back to where we started this, so I have a little bit of a vested interest in a project I'm working on with pistol braces. So tell me what's going on with pistol braces. Is that officially dead?
No, not yet. It's going to be heard this session of the Supreme Court. So I have a lot more faith in the pistol brace rule than I do on the bump stock thing. Honestly, with a pistol brace, in my opinion, has a chance to really upset the apple cart with the NFA a lot. So if we can get past the SBR thing, the pistol brace makes it an SBR. If they can look at it through the eyes of Caetano and Heller and realize that these things are in common use. I mean, there's probably 20 million pistol braces out there right now. That's common use. And in Caetano, you're probably, I don't know if you're familiar with the Caetano case that was a few years ago. They were talking about stun guns, and what makes the number of common use was 200,000. Anything above 200,000 would be considered common use. Like I said, pistol braces are probably somewhere in 20 million ish. I think there's actually more than that. But that's either way, that's pretty damn common use. So that has a chance, in my opinion, to upset the NFA and take the SBRs and the SBSs out
Well,
of the
what's
NFA.
we'll just leave. We'll put this out there. 200,000 pistol braces are now on SBRs that are registered.
Well, it was only 100,000, wasn't it?
I thought it
People
was
said, "Oh,
two.
free."
I thought it was 200,000 that registered them as SBRs.
I thought it was somewhere around 100. That was like 0.02%,
I
something
was
like that.
I was hoping it was 200,000. That way that would have been enough for the common use numbers.
But it doesn't matter though, because there's millions in public hands right now. It's not illegal to own a pistol brace right now, so we're still good. There's a stay on that nationally, so we can still have them. It's not like it's a big deal. But if they can crack the NFA open and take off SBRs and SBSs, that opens it up to suppressors. Because just last year there was like 5 million Form Ones done for suppressors or Form Fours. So I mean, that's common use too. It's the NFA is pointless in reality. It's stupid.
So
And
the only
so
reason
Thomas Massey, I know, has been a proponent of taking it out of there.
so the only reason machine guns aren't common use is because we can't buy them.
Yeah, thanks to 1986, right? Thanks to
Other
Ronald Reagan, who was a staunch
otherwise,
Republican, by the way.
yeah. Otherwise, machine guns would be common use because there would be 300 million of them in civilian hands.
I mean, think about all the Thompsons that they had to cut in half.
Well, I'm going to
because
say
of
this
the
right now.
stupid
I'm
rule.
pretty sure that I've seen 200,000 full auto Glocks on TikTok.
By the way, Glock's being sued by Chicago. So
why? Because they're in too many rap songs?
No, because they're saying Glock is providing unregistered machine guns to minors. They have sure Glock. In fact, I haven't seen a publicly accessible 18 since we had the Glock guy show up at one of the ranges. Like, it's just not, and that's not even publicly accessible, right? That's a demo, a police demo. So so stupid.
We had a Glock 18 at a place that I worked for like 4 years before it came and got picked up.
Nice.
Yeah, the rep.
I know that first range I worked at here in Idaho Falls, we had. Well, it was converted, I guess.
Yeah, this one was from the Glock rep. He left it there for a few years, and then he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna need that back."
But that'd be rad. And the thing that's funny is like anybody that shot a full auto Glock realizes that you're not putting all 30 rounds or whatever on the bullseye.
No,
unless you really know what's going on. If you really know how to run that gun.
You know what? I would justify that they are more dangerous than a machine gun.
because they're just so hard to keep a hold of.
Oh man, if you start aiming here, you're like finishing up here.
There at Independence, there may or may not be some scars on the shielding in the 100-yard bay from when somebody may have taken out the full auto Glock and was screwing around one afternoon. I'm not going to confirm or deny it, but
no, I think
I've shot it a lot, right?
I think it was
they're hard to control.
I think it was that guy that when you go into the range, he's on the TV telling you that you have to get a permit to draw from a holster. That guy. And
no double wielding either.
Yeah.
That guy's hot, by the way. So he's sexy.
There should be a rule in indoor ranges, and I don't know why indoor ranges allow this. You should not have Smith & Wesson 500 pistols for rent.
I don't mind doing it if you have one round at a time.
Yeah, or they should only be allowed to shoot 3 rounds total. I can't tell you the amount of times I've been trying to help people. Like, been at the range, trying to help someone that's with me, and to the left of me is boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh, they got to be done. You start to get them, the person you're helping lined up. They start to get on target. Boom! That and 30-06 rifles in the pistol range.
Yeah. I know people really hate that. I don't mind rifles in the range, but there are some people that, man, get so bitter. And I get it. It's loud inside a range. I totally understand that. But it's also a range. So, you understood the possibility of loud noises when you rented a lane.
I probably just need better hearing protection.
Always.
I can tell you I'm getting old, though, because I started wearing earplugs inside of my earmuffs.
Double them up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting old.
Especially like my digital earmuffs. Yeah, I started putting earplugs inside of it.
There's, I don't know. I like the sound. I can't help it. It's not good.
I did too until now. I lay in bed at night trying to go to sleep with my ears ringing so loud that I can't sleep. So I'm sure that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that's probably not. I mean, the little hairs that grow inside your ears, they're kind of necessary, and once they start deteriorating, that's no bueno.
All right, so you had brought up to me before that there was a Trump speech. Didn't go so well.
Oh, the NRA Trump speech?
Yeah.
I did talk about this. It might have been last week, but I'm happy to talk about this again. So Trump, you know how Trump speaks. I get to the summer camera. I get credit. Right. That's the normal Trump stuff that you want to hear, right? And that's what I expected at the NRA. Now, what kind of people do you think go to NRA banquets?
Probably
Just like
like
if you were to generalize who's there, what would you imagine?
probably older gentlemen,
Okay.
and a term that I won't use on here. Yeah, probably like older like NRA
Boomers.
members. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you think these older NRA members, do you think they like to talk about guns?
Well, probably they're at the NRA convention.
Yeah. So you would imagine a Trump speech at an NRA convention. He would talk about what?
Second Amendment.
The Second Amendment, right? Yeah. Let's just go down this rabbit hole. He probably spent 30 seconds talking about firearms and the Second Amendment. The rest of his hour and a half speech was talking about. It was just like an election campaign speech, which I get. Right, he's trying to get support. But if you're wanting to talk about support for the Second Amendment community, you should probably bring up the Second Amendment and what you're going to do to protect it. But he didn't. He didn't talk about this. He did say, which is sadly accurate, it's like 25% of firearms owners vote. 25%.
What?
Yeah. So he's like, I would have run the election if you guys would have voted for me. So that's a sad reality. That actually is a true statistic. Firearms owners are lazy. They're apathetic, is what it is. And so, especially the old dogs that are like, "Oh, this would never happen in the country. I fought in Vietnam. I fought in Korea, whatever." Which is great. I appreciate their service, but they still have to vote. They still have to get out and teach their kids and grandkids how important it is to
Yeah,
do their civic duty.
Unfortunately, your service doesn't get you a automatic
It's not a free
vote.
pass.
Like, it doesn't get you a reoccurring vote for the candidate that you want. You have to show up and vote still. So
Yeah.
I will say this though. I'm impressed that there's a candidate running for president in 2024, and because both of them are pretty old, that can stand up on stage and give an hour and a half long speech.
Yeah, and he
I'm
didn't
guessing
stumble.
I'm guessing you understood 3/4 of it.
Yeah, all of it was understandable. He may have used a teleprompter. He probably did, honestly. That's a long time to speak just to memorize
I was like,
stuff.
I think I would need a teleprompter to speak and be on topic for an hour and a half. Like I probably should have put notes on my phone for this speech.
The worst thing about, and it is, like I said, that's the worst Trump speech I've ever seen him give, ever. The last probably 15 minutes, like, they played this patriarchal, it's not even patriarchal music, patriotical.
Patriotic?
Gosh, yeah, that's the word. Oh my gosh.
You're like going after like patriarchy or something, but it's patriotic.
The music was not patriotic. It was like this somber, melancholy.
Did he do his
weird
dance?
No, that was at the other speech he gave, I think. Or that was the Bronx one, I think. Anyway, and he was talking like, obviously he's trying to key in on emotion, right? And motivate by emotion, but it was really bad. It was awful. Like, it was so bad. You'd have to go back and watch it. Like, I did a live stream actually of the speech, and it was, oh, bro, it was terrible.
Well, they can't all be 10s,
but then
but I will say
he gave a speech later that was better.
Yeah, and he knocked. He did pretty good with his Bronx rally. I saw the ad.
I've only seen bits and pieces of that.
I didn't even. Here's the thing: I don't need to hear Trump speak. Right? Like, I have a good idea of what he's running on and what he's going to do when he gets into office. Like, I've already seen him in office once, right? And if he's in again, he's probably going to do an elevated version of what he did the first time. And I'm fine with that. Like, I think
the left and the right are scared to death of that possibility.
Yeah, I hope he goes in there and just fires everybody.
You're fired. Like, he's just going to get rid of these people, which needs to happen. they don't know how to handle this guy because he's been a business dude for so long. He knows how to how to fire people, right? Just like we were saying. He doesn't pussyfoot around. It's just, I don't like you, get the hell out, and that's it. And that's what we've needed for years. Now I'm a little concerned about his firearms perspective because he wasn't very good his first term, but he also just took cues from like the NRA and just did what he thought people wanted because it came from the NRA.
So here's where I
And
have
so
here's why I
hopefully
have
that
faith.
changes.
This is why I have faith in Donald Trump as president when it comes to the Second Amendment. I've met his son. I've met both of his sons, actually, Eric and Junior. They both are pretty adamant about what we stand for on the Second Amendment, especially Junior. So,
Well, he should have been more upfront
so
with
I
it, though.
so I don't think, unless something happens, that there's anything to worry about with Trump as president, at least in the way that I would worry about it with a Democrat or a George Bush. Like, I don't think that there's anything that I'm worried about there because I think the benefits will outweigh his softness on the Second Amendment. Because I don't think he's
Maybe.
trying to ban anything, but I don't think that he's on a mission to do us any favors at the moment. But I think that some of the things that he will do in government will make it better for us the next time around.
I mean, he gave us solid Supreme Court justices and a lot of district judges
And look at
that
what they're
helped a
doing
lot.
for us right now.
Yeah,
Like
they're
they're a
doing a
big.
lot more than he could do, honestly, as president. But
I mean,
what
he did
scares
agree
me
with he
is,
did agree with getting rid of bump stocks.
yeah, well, that
But I
was the
think
NRA too,
but I think that was
a
that was
compromise.
yeah, I think that was a compromise. That's the word.
But this is what makes me worried. Okay, so we had the left and the right hate this guy so bad. I think they're willing to do or let a lot of things happen under his watch to make him look like a bad president. We saw that before between COVID and the vaccine and bump stocks. I mean, we had the Las Vegas shooting under Trump. That was 7 years ago, by the way. Can you believe that's 7 years ago? Um, so I would not put it past conspiracy time. I wouldn't put it past people making another big event to make it very difficult for gun owners. Um, I mean, I obviously I don't know what that would be. Hopefully, it's nothing. But the left never lets a crisis go to waste ever. So whether it
So
be a public shooting or a school shooting, they're gonna dramatize it way high under his candidate or his presidency.
so in a naive statement from me, why is it so important to come after guns? They already got every kid in the country trying to cut their penises off. Like,
Because an armed society is hard to govern. I mean, we've seen that in history.
yeah, but we're just gonna
Now I
have
know there's
we're gonna have a society of transformed women. So they're not even gonna want guns. They don't even want to drive. Like the gun battle is not even as scary for me. And I'll take a lot of hate for this. Like the gun battle is not as scary for me as the battle on like our kids and ruining our society. Like that, first of all, they don't want to drive, so they sure as hell aren't going to want to own guns. They don't want to live by themselves. They don't want to get jobs. So cool. Guess what? You're winning on a different front. Like, why do we gotta like have school shootings still? And
man.
and
You need to
and
listen, you
here
need to listen to the podcast more.
and hear me out. It's never people from our side of the aisle doing school shootings. Ever.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, huh?
Or any type of shootings. And thank God for that, because we would be a lot more lethal if it was people who were actually gun owners.
Yeah.
Like that's what concerns me. Like the big push of why guns should be banned is because of mass shootings, but the mass shooters are never actually gun enthusiasts.
well, and a lot of them put in their manifestos. Like the last, I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't the last like publicly one, but he said straight up, "I'm doing this because I want gun control." Like that was in his manifesto. That was the point.
So
So
you want gun control, so you're going to create gun violence. Like,
yeah,
so you
yeah. The
want
point
gun
is to
control.
stir it up.
So you want gun control to stop events like you want to do.
Well,
That,
I think he considers, like, that guy considered his victims martyrs in the
yeah.
cause. Then at that point, right? He's being godlike and offering mercy to these people.
Well, he can
So
enjoy himself in hell because that's where
I
he'll be.
agree. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like I'll jump on uh the gun violence archive, which is far left, right? It's like Mom's Demand and the Giffords, like all those people get their numbers from the gun violence archive. The mistake that the gun violence archive does is they publish the police reports, so you can actually read what these mass shootings were, and or school shootings. And it's like, oh, this took place at a school parking lot at 2 a.m. on a Sunday. Between, it was a gang violence thing, but it's a school shooting because it took place on school property.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
that's how they're categorizing these school shootings. A lot of them. I mean, some of them are like actually happen in a school, but which is sad, right? I had a daughter that dealt with that in her school.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I know how it feels. But the vast majority, like the overwhelming amount, is not what is being sold to the public. If they only did their homework.
So to tap into what you said about your daughter's school, that it was a girl that was the shooter in that, right?
Yeah, she was transitioning actually.
And she wasn't from like a gun enthusiast family either, right?
No, they were more left.
Yeah.
They had guns in the home, but yeah, her family, from what I understand, was not Republican voters.
So that's what interests me. So those of us that are advocates and enthusiasts of firearms and stand for like the right to bear arms and self-protection and things, when we teach our kids about guns, we teach them the responsibility of it, and then
Correct.
we create like stable human beings as much as possible. And then when you get the people who think that everyone shouldn't have guns, they're irresponsible. They raise irresponsible kids. They preach irresponsible teachings to them, and then they take guns when they get upset about something and overreact and cause gun violence.
Yep.
More and more, every time I see one of these, I go, oh, I can't wait to see what the backstory is going to be on who and what this person was and where they came from. Because it never comes from, oh, my dad owns 400 guns and is a firearms instructor and fought in World War II. It comes from, oh, there's a handgun in the house and I come from a domestic violence family and I just was upset that I got bullied. Not to say that like it's okay for people to pick on other kids, but at the same time, like there's a level of response, right? Like I don't just get to pull out a gun and shoot you because you like stepped in front of me at the drink line. Like me and you understand
that. And that's what you see. Like you probably saw that dude that was, I don't know if he was a TikToker or whatever, dicking around with his gun and shot himself in the head, like a live stream. Didn't mean to commit suicide, but he was like pointing his gun. He's like, oh, boom.
I just saw that
on
like
a live
couple
stream.
days ago. Yeah, I just saw the video of that a couple days ago.
I don't think he meant to do that, but obviously he doesn't understand the 4 fundamental firearm safety rules.
Well, here's
never taught.
Dude, I tell people this all the time. We get videos taken down and pulled from Instagram and TikTok, and then I started posting on YouTube Shorts, and then I start getting I'm like, oh my God, you want to see why like stuff should be like regulated on social media? Go watch YouTube Shorts and watch these like inner city kids playing with guns.
dude,
Like,
or
it's
Instagram. Like,
scary. And then I go on there and I get my
yeah.
stuff pulled down because it's like a flat photo of a gun in a holster. And I'm like, man, I don't know. But then I watched YouTube shorts and started posting over there. And I was like, okay, now I understand why they pull down my videos, because these people are going to get killed. Like,
Well, I got ghosted on my TikTok account, on the Range Minded TikTok account. I just made a promo, like nothing, like I didn't handle any guns or nothing. It was all news media that, like, I just pulled stuff from the news, and it got flagged. I'm like, bro, like, this is not me. I just quoted content, like I didn't do anything wrong, and it got ghosted. It's like, I don't understand you guys.
yeah, I just finally got a warning banner on my TikTok account that I run my TikTok shop on, which is totally sterile. No pictures of guns on anything, just the holster. It's basically like only ads. And then I have my second account where I just post anything that I want and backlink it. Well, I posted a video, and like 40 seconds into it, there was like a flash in the video that had a pistol in a holster that I didn't realize was there. Boom,
Oh no.
got pulled down. And then a week later, I posted just, it was like a bunch of photos in a reel format that was like bouncing around, and there was a firearm in one of those in the picture, but they were all like stock image type stuff. I didn't even realize I posted it to that account, and I was like, shit. Soon as I posted it, community guidelines violation, and then got all of my videos have warnings posted to them now.
Well, there's a couple of people I follow on TikTok that, like, they're in competitions, right? And they're shooting in competition. You see them draw the gun, and they're
Yep.
boom, 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 hitting steel. I have a picture of me at Parma shooting the Barrett standing up. At Parma, I've got my ear pro on, my eye pro on, standing shooting a Barrett. That got taken. I got a strike from that video saying that I was promoting unsafe activities, and in the description, I'm a firearms instructor. This is in a safe environment.
Yeah,
This
but
is a
here's the
controlled
deal.
range.
They know you should never shoot a Barrett standing up.
I just proved that I could, is all.
That's unsafe. You deserved that strike.
They probably thought it was an AR-15.
Just for the record, a Barrett standing up? No. Have you seen that guy on TikTok? I think it's Black Rambo shooting the pistol gripped
Oh yeah,
Barrett. One-handed.
that guy drives me nuts. I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, I don't know. I just think that like there's a big disconnect in where these things happen and why they happen. And
Well, I think the media is complicit on this too. Like, they want the disparity between responsible firearms ownership and people that are unstable. They need that to feed their audience, right?
and I won't lie,
They have to make everybody sound crazy.
when I was really paying attention to all of that stuff, and it was happening quite a bit for a while. It feels like we haven't had a major incident in a little bit, but it makes you almost want to give up. Like, you see it so much, and you get so much like pushback, and when you're strong in your stance like we are, and you're like, dude, at a certain point you're like, what? Why keep defending it? And I know why, but like in the back of your mind, you're like, dude, is this worth like having this argument every single conversation? Like,
Well, I think,
is it worth
that's
watching?
the point, right? They want to wear it down.
That's exactly it. And it's like, is it worth watching these people on the news just tell you what a worthless person you are because you defend that over and over?
That just pisses me off more. So I get more and more loud.
You and me both. But I do have every once in a while have that thought where I'm like, dude, is it even worth it? And then you remember, yes, it is. But so
yeah, it is always worth it. It's freedom, baby. It's freedom.
Right, I have 7 more minutes before I got to get out of here. So what else is going on?
GunCon. That's coming up in the end of June.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Range Minded has a booth there. That's at Brownells, right?
Yeah, Brownells in Grinnell, Iowa. Right in the tornado country. I'm actually kind of concerned. It's been a heavy tornado here this year. could get really exciting.
It might be really good for your TikTok.
That's true. I could get some storm chasing in. It should be a
because you're
good time. I'm
driving,
gonna
aren't
take my
you?
son with me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna drive.
You're gonna drive the 4Runner.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I still kind of want to rent a car. I'd rather rent like a Mustang and ruin somebody else's car, and not mine. So
I think you should just like overland out the 4Runner, rooftop tent, sleep on the side of the road, drive straight through.
coming back, we are gonna have to drive straight through.
55 gallons of
17
gas,
hours.
and the gas can't. Well, you have that place that makes the gas tanks, so you could get like an external gas tank for your 4Runner. You could cannonball run it.
I should, huh?
It's
illegal to put those Titan tanks. It's illegal to put those in gasoline running vehicles in the United States. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's okay. Yeah, because the EPA says, well, the plastic breaks down. But in every other country, like the Titan tanks, their second biggest clientele base is in Australia for all the overlanders that run them on gasoline motors.
So wait, the plastic that I run in my F-150 stock tank is different than the plastic.
No, it's exactly the same.
Okay,
that's what's silly. It's the same damn thing, but the EPA is like, oh no, you can't do that. You can't put a 100-gallon tank in your pickup.
But I can put a 100-gallon tank in my diesel pickup.
Yeah, because it's okay. It makes no sense.
Well, because I can't afford to fill it up. That's why. Because it's.
But anyway, Brownell should be a good time. It should be a good time. You should show up. You just come with us.
I am against driving across the country. If I do go, it will be in an airplane.
I'll pick you up in Des Moines.
Okay.
Because that's the closest airport.
Yeah, that might be a possibility. What else is going on?
I already got the hotels paid for. We talked about patches. I think you guys saw these. I know I posted them on a couple videos. I'll show them off again. I'll just take them out of the package.
I'm like, you don't have any that are out of the package?
They're way behind me in the chair. I don't want to walk back there. Plus, this makes for way better content. The anticipation.
What is that? ASMR?
I don't know if you can read it. It says dangerous and unusual. This camera's... Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
I just have to... It's just Perry. I can't say his whole name, I don't think. Copyright issues, you know. But this one I can say the whole name, because it's the official patch.
So last time I was on the podcast, did not have a logo.
Really?
That's how long it's been.
Well, and the logo looks good, right? Better than not to dog on Mark, but better than what Mark did for us back in the day.
But just the
picture of their guns on the wall.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah, I'm excited. You can kind of, and you see the flag back there. Ooh.
Yeah, see, the way you had the lights and you said flag, I could see the American flag, and I was like, yeah, I can see it. And I thought that was a LED light back there.
Oh, that'd be rad in a big old LED light. I might have to try that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are going good for the show. Other than that, I want to make 24 like the year of the podcast. So been spending way too much time on Twitter, which has been kind of good, actually.
I heard that you're streaming the show like multiple days a week on Twitter.
Yeah. So a bunch of us on Twitter it's almost like a network channel now. It's called We the People Live. So the show airs 5 days a week, 6 days a week at the same time slot. It's like I think for us, it's like 5 to 6 p.m. So that's going to be kind of cool. Hopefully it goes well.
I'm going to have to figure out my password for X so I can log back in and check it out.
I've had a lot of fun on X. It seems to be a little bit more open to conversation than some of the other platforms, so it's been kind of fun. Had to kick a few people off. Do you know what Spaces is?
Yeah.
It's where you can get on as a community and people all over the place. I had to kick some people off one of my Spaces yesterday. It was awesome. Or Saturday. Some racist dude from Australia. It was a good time.
He didn't like white people?
He hated black people. Like he He went off on black people and Jews. I was like, okay, we're done. Goodbye.
Well,
So
all
you
right.
get some fun people.
Well, that's awesome. I'm sorry that you had that, but anyways, so Memorial Day, I got to jump off here. I've got to pick a winner for the hat giveaway over on Instagram. So we got
Oh, look at that.
these hats that I'm giving
That
away on
trucker hat,
Instagram.
I kind of like.
This one is pretty cool. This was my favorite, but I can't have white hats. They always get dirty. So
Yeah.
giving those away today on Instagram. By the time you guys hear this, it'll be too late. It's already gone. But check out the next one, Hoftack Industries on Instagram and all the socials. And what else do I have going on? I think that's about it. And then I promise you the next time I come on the show, we'll have a little bit more structure and I'll have something to talk to you guys about a little more in depth.
Hey, it's all good. It's kind of fun just to shoot the shit too, though.
So, well, awesome. I appreciate you having me on. I will say in the next month or so, we should do a episode and just have you interview me because I want to cut up some clips for the internet. So that might be a good episode just to do live and just have you interview me like you've never met me before.
I need to get over to Boise because there's actually a couple people over there. There's a guy in Caldwell that wants to meet up and do some stuff, and then actually I think there's 2 guys in Caldwell. Nothing gross, just 2A content. So
sounds good. I'm gonna leave that one alone. With that, I've got to go and barbecue some hot dogs.
Yeah, sounds
Nothing
good, man.
gross.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming to hang out.
Actual hot dogs.
Yeah, hot dogs. Okay.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys. Have a good, safe Memorial Day. I know it's after this is when you're gonna hear that, but hopefully you had a safe Memorial Day after you watch this. Anyways, thanks, guys. Peace out.